starting over, giving up what you know and you're used to come and begin a new life miles away from home can be intimidating and challenging. Whether you're 80, whether you're 40, whether you're 60, it doesn't matter. Are you thinking of immigrating to the United States of America, or do you want to relocate to the United States? If you're considering this question, then this video is for you. Coming from a developed country, I always wanted to work and experience being in a developed country. Lucky enough, I moved to the United States around 2019. Being in the United States comes with a lot of opportunities, literally, meaning hard work pays here. If you put in the work, then you get compensated for it. But on the flip side, everybody that comes here does not make it or does not even thrive. We've seen cases of people going into depression, immigrants going into depression, they're being homeless, some are being deported, or even they're just not with it. That's why I'm making this video to talk about some of these challenges you're going to face and probably think through it. And if you know you really can't handle this, don't even try starting the process of coming to the United States of America. As I say every day, American dream. Everybody is talking about the American dream. And the American dream for me is the ability to get that opportunity to put in the work and be rewarded for it. That is my understanding. So today's video focuses on the reason why you should not move and relocate to the United States of America. If you cannot face and adapt to any of these challenges, please do not even start the process. So these are going to be 9 challenges that were personal to me and something that I've observed and something that I'll tell someone, if this is you, please stay home. So at number 9, very common challenge. It's not a challenge, but it is to some people. Laziness. If you know this is you, this country is not for you. As much as people want to live the American dream, there is a catch, which is getting paid for the work done. If you do not work, if you do not show up and put in that effort, you won't earn the dollar. At the start, I'll say, for example, some people have to work extra hard to sustain themselves. They work 2 jobs or more, working long hours. And please, not forgetting you have to send money home. And not forgetting you have bills to pay. This is not your home country. You don't know people around. You have to work to pay your rent. You have to work to buy food. And when I mean working, I mean working. For example, I work as a nurse. Is a 12-hour shift. And the moment I clock in, I know I'm going to put in the work to get that dollar. Like it is work. I work a lot. Like I earn that money. It doesn't just come for free. And that applies to any other job. You have to put in the work. So guys, if you like this video, if you like this content, please do subscribe, please do share, please do like, and please do comment down here with a 1 to let me know you're enjoying the video so that I can continue producing more. Tell me about the challenges you're facing as a new immigrant, or you're probably contemplating you will face. In the meantime, let's get back to the video. At number 8, starting over. Giving up what you know and you're used to come and begin a new life miles away from home can be intimidating and challenging. Whether you're 80, whether you're 40, whether you're 60, it doesn't matter, especially professionally. Whether you have a degree, whether you have a master, or just an high school diploma, this is a place where you have to start over. This applies to most of the country when you're relocating, but here most of the time you'll have to start from a 0 in terms of education. It can be frustrating, especially for people who have progressed in life professionally. Individuals who've advanced in their profession. They cannot practice. For example, you are a doctor, you've been a doctor for some time, then you relocate in here, you can't just start working. Same applies to nurses. You can't just wake up one morning and then start working. You have to go through a process. That process can be validation or evaluation of your certificates. So for individuals who progressed in profession, you can't just come in here and start practicing. You have to go, probably your credentials to be evaluated, or you need certification, or they just don't recognize your education. So you have to go back to school and start from a 0. Honestly, why can that not be frustrating? You are a doctor, you are a lawyer, you are a bank manager. You've been doing this for more than 20 years, then you come here and somebody is telling you, we are sorry, we don't recognize your education, we just don't recognize your papers, we have to evaluate them, we have to do this, or you have to go back to school and start from square one. So that can be frustrating, really frustrating. So if you know this is you, if you know that starting over and just learning, probably even the culture, the social life, like it's gonna be starting over everything, like every aspect, whether it is spiritually, whether it is socially, whether it is culturally, whether it's education wise, you have to start over and you have to exercise patience, because even for the evaluation thing, let's say as nurses, nurses who come here as international nurses, it's a process. You have to send your papers somewhere, it has to take time. It's just a process that if you're not patient enough, then please stay home. So at point number 7, we have loneliness or indoor lifestyle. Most of your lifestyle will be spent either at work or in the house. When you have no activity planned, you will find yourself in the house for the better part of the time. With a country where everything can be delivered at the comfort of your door, including furniture, grocery, name it. Trust me, you will find yourself mostly inside the house. And people working to pay their bills, that making impromptu visits not a thing. If you don't find something to do, or you're not a Netflix and chill person, this can be a very boring lifestyle. So ask yourself, on my days off, what am I gonna do? If you're a Netflix and chill person, good for you. You'll watch all the movies and with your popcorn. If you are find something to do, boredom might kill you. If you're the working type and you can work 60 hours a week, then do it, whatever works for you. But that indoor lifestyle is really boring and it can get into you and you can be frustrated and even start questioning why. This is something very interesting. It's cultural shock. This can be on a positive or a negative aspect. It depends on how you look at it. Because from how the system works, you have to be an independent person. You have to be dependable. You have to figure things out by yourself. The reason why this can be challenging a little bit is because you want to go somewhere. You have to put it on a Google map and you have to figure out where you're going. I joined the military and we were using maps because most of the time we didn't have a phone. So we were using maps to locate where we wanted to go. And if you don't know how to read map, trust me, you don't want that to happen to you. So it's how their system works. If you want to go to probably the bank, if you want to do this, you have to figure out things by yourself because they believe, America is a country where they invite everybody, they accept everybody. So nobody will know you are a first-time immigrant. Nobody will know this is your first time. And that is why you have to get out of your shell and ask questions and ask how to do them. Another cultural shock is that people are big here. And at the first, I was like, what? Why is this? For me, that was a shock too. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen that. You'll get used to it. That aside, anything you're trying to do, most of the time you'll be doing by yourself. And the good thing that I'll tell you, people are willing to help and people are willing to explain. Get out of your comfort, get out of your head and ask for help where needed be to make that cultural assimilation easy for you. Another challenge you're going to face is racism. Oh yes, racism does exist. It does exist. Every day I say there are good people all over this country, but it will take just one ignorant, self-absorbed individual who think they're superior to ruin it for you. Most of the time I say you have to develop mental toughness and realize it is the emotional baggage they're dealing with. And you have a choice to react to them and you have a choice to decide how. This should not be an hinder to your goals. I usually equate it to tribalism and nepotism. They exist. So does racism exist. Choose how you respond to it. Choose how you react to it. Choose how those words are going to affect you. Yes, they're hurtful. Yes, they're demeaning. And yes, nobody should face it. But at one point, if you're faced with it, make a choice. You decide how you react. You decide what affects you, and you decide if that will define you or not. So leave the racism alone. That is something else. We're going to talk at point number 4, language barrier. This has been a challenge. You see the way I talk, I feel like I talk fluently and I feel like I'm audible enough. To some people, I have language barrier. So we all speak differently with varied accent, and we schooled in different education systems. Personally, I schooled using British English. This will differ to a person who schooled in the American schools and what they used to speak with American English. It is frustrating to be speaking to everyone every time, and they go like, "Can you say that again? Please repeat. I didn't understand what you're saying." Don't take it negatively, and don't think you are inferior or they're questioning your intelligence. You will also meet people that you don't understand their accent. I've met people that I really don't understand. Whatever they're saying, I just don't understand. So I came to the conclusion that when somebody tells me they don't understand, I'll ask them, how will I make it better for you to understand? Do you want me to speak slowly? Do you want me to write it down? How can I do it to make it easy for you? Because at the end of the day, we have to communicate with each other. I'll give you an example. The first time I landed in New York, and I was doing a connection flight to Phoenix, Arizona. So I boarded the airplane, and this nice, pretty air hostess wakes me up because I was asleep. I was so tired, and she's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, what may I offer you to drink or eat?" I go like, "I don't need anything to eat, but I need some water." Hey, that was the beginning of my troubles. She goes like, "What did you say?" I tell her, I said, "I need some water." And then she's like, "Oh, what did you say?" I'm like, "Water." And then she goes, "Oh, you mean water?" Oh my God. In my head, I was thinking, how did this change? How did water change to water? So to really understand where she was born and how they've been talking, they are saying water. I was saying water. Thank God nowadays I'm used to water. Makes life so easy. So language barrier is a thing. It's not a question of your intelligence. It's not an intimidating thing. It's the fact that we all speak different accents and somebody is not understanding you. So be gentle enough to ask them, how can I make it better? And they too should be gentle enough to ask you how to make it better so that we can communicate and coexist in peace. We have the individualistic lifestyle. People are busy here, and most of the time it's about them, or better say it, me. Unlike in places like Asia and Africa, where we are brought up in a community setting, where we socialize with each other and can relate freely and make impromptu visits, or be chatty with any person you just meet in a bus station and have a flawless conversation on current affairs affecting the society and all that. That is not it here. Here you have to have an appointment if you're going to see somebody. You have to call them. You have to ask them, "Are you free today? Am I able to come and visit you?" Because you can get yourself, go there and find they were having a function, or you can get yourself there and find like they're just busy, or they didn't include you on their dinner or lunch budget. So you really have to have the mindset of individualistic. Again, individualistic means that you can't just meet people in the store and just start asking, "What is your political opinion or about this or that?" Here, most of the time, things you'll be talking about are pets, how the pets are pretty, how the weather is nice today, what they ate, and all that. That is what it is. Go along with it. Flow with it. Don't make it complicated for yourself. If somebody tells you their pet or their cat is sick, ask them, "Did you take them to the vet?" Blah, blah, blah. Make the conversation easy and move on. Another individualistic is people work to pay their bills. So most of the time they're like, "I'm busy, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that." So yeah, so that is individualistic lifestyle. That is where you have to have an appointment. You just don't start conversation about religion or politics. It is just complimenting each other and complimenting pets, and that's it. Out number Number two is expectation. We put way too much expectation on the American dream. When migrating here, do not come expecting to be rich overnight or be financially stable overnight. It takes time. It's a process, and you should be willing to put in the work. You have to be patient. You have to trust the process, and you have to commit. So come with those expectations, but don't expect to realize them or actualize them within no minutes or immediately you come here. We don't pluck money on trees. We work for them as immigrants. It is work. At number one, to me, this should not be a challenge, but most of the time on my inbox, people have asked me this question over and over and over again. What do you guys eat? We eat food. So at number one is food. Food is not a challenge. It won't be an issue, but until you know where to buy your food, it's gonna be a challenge, and you're just gonna have to eat whatever you find. Personally, I still struggle with food here because it's either too sugary for me, it's either too oily, unless it's a vegetable, or it's too starchy. So lucky enough, there are stores here where you have to locate them very fast. These are the Asian stores, the Indian stores, the African stores. If you love your food the way I love mine, then you will have to locate those stores. And there's so many African restaurants here. We have almost every food on planet Earth. There is every food in this nation. The American food is there in plenty. The African food is there in plenty. The Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Japanese, the Asian. You just really have to know where to find it. So it will be a challenge for a few months or probably a year, and then once you realize where to buy it, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so if you know this is you I'm talking about here, if you know some of these challenges you just can't adapt, you're not patient enough, or you don't have the mental toughness to go through them, then you really need to think twice before you relocate here. These are a few challenges that you might face when migrating to the United States. But with the right mindset, with patience, with flexibility, you can come and work on those expectations, on your expectation. Unlike many countries where you have to have connection and know someone, here your papers sell out. Yes, probably there's the connection thing, but for immigrants, you apply for the jobs, you get it. Like, you don't have to know someone. For example, back home, you have to know someone to just tell them I need a job. Like, you have to have a connection. Right here, you don't have to have a connection. There are some jobs that I really encourage immigrants to do. I'll do a video probably on that. Jobs that when you just present your papers, you don't have to think twice. You'll be hired. So guys, that is it. Talking about American Dream, here is a video of my first 48 hours in the United States of America. Right at this corner, click on that link, watch that video, know how I landed here, how I did my things during the first days or the first weeks as an immigrant. That is how I got my social security number, because you will need it. That is how I got an apartment, because you will need it. How I acquired my first car, how I navigated through the system. Watch that video, get that value, and enjoy the content.